Hi, I'm Adrienne Williams-Octalien, Director of the Office of Disaster Recovery, and welcome to another edition of Recovery Roundup. Today I'm standing here at the JFL North, the temporary solution to the hurricane damaged Juan F. Hospital, where we had a successful transition between facilities. I'm going to talk with the CEO of our hospital as well as the Executive Director of the Territorial Hospital Redevelopment Team about the process, what it took, what we can expect going forward. But before we do that, let's take a look at what's happening across the recovery with Artra Watlington-Francis.
From the WTJX studio on St. Croix, I am Artra Watlington-Francis. A project to strengthen the resilience of the power grid on St. Croix is nearing completion. The Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority is set to wrap up a $3.7 million undergrounding project on the Big Island. Matthias Clark, mechanical engineer, gives us an update.
So far, 9 electrical manholes have been installed, in addition to over 20,000 linear feet of electrical cable. These cables lay in buried conduit that run along Route 663, which is adjacent to the St. Croix Central High School. The newly installed transmission lines connect to existing feeder infrastructure, our Gregory E. Willock substation, and to 5 newly installed pad-mounted transformers that lower the voltage to consumer levels and provide resilient power to our customers. Currently on this project, we were able to pick up along the route key facilities such as parts of the Central High School, the Kings Hill Funeral Home, the Agape Medical Center, the Pentecostal Church, and junctions have been installed to allow for future expansion into residential areas.
The authority anticipates the completion of the project by July 2023. On the west side of St. Croix, recovery progress continues. The Virgin Islands Housing Authority is pushing through with its plans to revitalize the Walter I. M. Hodge Pavilion in Frederiksted. Recently, contractor Benton Construction finished the refurbishment of Building 20. Staying on track with the project schedule to have more than 90 units ready for move-in by the end of 2023. James Benson, president of Benton Construction, has more details.
Starting with the existing buildings, we did unit trashing of all the units. And then after that, our crews went through and did the lead and asbestos abatement. Structurally, we had to make some modifications to bring up these buildings to code, adding 2 shear walls on the interior stairwells, as well as the 2 entryways you see behind me. In addition, on the exterior, we have all new impact-resistant windows, new louvers, a brand new standing seam roof, and this beautiful EFIS system with the colors that were selected. On the interiors, we have also completely gutted the interiors and are coming back with state-of-the-art kitchens and bathrooms. These kitchens include solid surface quartz countertops, stainless steel appliances, shaker-style cabinet doors, and new SPC flooring throughout the units. So very happy to show the quality of the work on these buildings.
The Housing Authority's Chief Operating Officer, Lydia Pell, was also on site to mark the progress of the $117 million project.
As we move to the completion of the first phase of the Walter I. M. Hodge Revitalization Project, we see families that are going to be living in new conditions, resilient buildings, and a recovery project that has been successful with a combination of funding from FEMA, CDBG-DR, low-income tax credits, and a construction loan that was secured by the development group.
The 4-phase revitalization effort is expected to bring more than 240 units back online before the end of 2024. Power and housing projects are not the only sectors making news in the territory. The Department of Health recently held a press conference to notify the public of plans to begin the demolition of the Charles Harwood Medical Complex in Christiansted. Commissioner Hussein Encarnacion shared her excitement on the significant milestone.
Today, really and truly, is just a time when we say this is what's happening, keeping you informed as a community, and then looking forward to what is going to come. This is not the only time we're going to be meeting with you. We will be meeting with you on an ongoing basis so that you can actually see what's going on a year-to-year basis. Looking forward to the groundbreaking and finally to the ribbon cutting.
Project specialist Rosalinda Brown explained the specifics of what the community can expect from contractor Lamar Tech during the demolition phase.
Their scope of work includes the abatement and removal of all hazardous asbestos and lead-containing materials and the clearings of the structures on site. This includes the demolition of the 3-story main building, the 2-story annex, 5 outer buildings, and a relocation of other temporary structures on the site. We have established approved project work hours, which will be limited to 7:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., Monday through Friday, unless otherwise indicated. We are committed to completing the project within the approved timeline by the fourth quarter of 2023. Safety is our top priority, and we have taken extensive measures to ensure the safety of staff and the surrounding community members during the demolition process. We have also implemented environmental controls to ensure that the demolition process is carried out in a responsible and sustainable manner.
Steps to mitigate weather, storm water, drainage, dust, and noise will be implemented. The department asks the public to proceed with caution and adhere to construction signage. For more information, you can contact the Department of Health at 340-718-1311 or Lamar Tech at 305-2738-676. Also scheduled to begin demolition in April is the Charles Tappy Seals Fire Station in Grove Place. The $437,000 contract was awarded to Marco St. Croix and should be complete by July 2023. The facility will be rebuilt as a fire station and multi-purpose center. Assistant Director of the Virgin Islands Fire and Emergency Services, Antonio Stevens, tells us more about the project.
This project costs somewhere in the estimate about $5 million to complete. We are right now in the demolition phase, where we'll be demolishing the old station. Currently, we have our firefighters living and housing in an annex right next to the old station, which is 208 and 209 Grove Place. So we're not too far away from the original fire station.
On St. Thomas, critical repairs are underway at the Emile Berry Fire Station in Dorothea. Jonelle Jackson, Public Information Officer for the Virgin Islands Fire and Emergency Medical Services, shares the specifics.
The project will be completed by Caribbean Contracting Services, Inc., and the total investment for this project is $387,940. We anticipate the completion of this project by the end of 2023. The project plan, comprised of 20 scheduled tasks, have several remaining related to the removal and installation of the new HVAC components, security, lighting, and painting of the station. We thank the community for their ongoing support as we continue to improve our services and facilities throughout the territory.
For more information on these and other disaster recovery projects in the territory, log on to www.usbiodr.com.
Thanks for that, Artra. And as promised, I am here with CEO Doug Koch of the Juan F. Hospital, as well as the Executive Director for the Territorial Hospital Redevelopment Team, Mr. Darryl Smalls. Congratulations, gentlemen. You did an awesome job. I was commenting to several people who were really concerned about whether this transition would have gone according to plan. So, from your perspective, Mr. Koch, how do you feel about that transition?
Well, the transition couldn't have gone better than expected. We moved on Saturday, April 22nd, we moved all of our patients, all of our services over within a very short period of time. I think our first patient left JFL Main at 7:15 in the morning, and the final patient arrived here in JFL North at 12:17 in the afternoon. So within a 5-hour period, we were able to transition the whole hospital and services over to our new location.
Absolutely impressive. And I know this isn't your first rodeo. You've done this before. Any differences between your past experiences and this one?
Well, yes, I mean, very different with regards to the amount of resources available to us. We did this with our existing team. So, you know, take our nurses, for example. While they're packing up their stuff, they're also caring for patients. While they're unpacking their new location, they're also caring for patients. So the amount of resources that we were able to do this with was just exceptional. And I can't be prouder of our teams for what they accomplished.
Yes, and I know that the Territorial Hospital Redevelopment Team came in a nick of time. You were able to shepherd a lot of this, Mr. Smalls, and you had to delay the opening. You know, what did that mean for you and your team?
Well, the 30-day delay provided us additional time to make sure that all of our patient safety measures were taken care of. We had to address the CAT scan, we had to address the fire alarm system, a faulty transformer, and by the time that the 30 days passed, we were ready and rearing, ready to move in and be able to provide safe patient care.
Wonderful. So right now, you know, you're actually providing all your services from JFL North. Is there still anything that's being provided from the old facility?
From an inpatient perspective, yeah, all services are being done here. There are still a few outpatient services that remain at JFL Main, services that we weren't able to put into the new facility, such as mammography, such as some of our outpatient testing. So a few of our outpatient testings are going to remain there until we can relocate them to our VICC, which will happen later this year.
Okay, and I know that this is not the end. You're actually, your new task, and your task for which the Hospital Redevelopment Team was created is for the rebuild of Juan F. Hospital. And where are we with that? You know, what are the plans for demolition of that facility, especially since that it's adjacent to the temporary hospital?
Absolutely. Based on our last conversation with FEMA, we're looking at the month of May 2023, where we anticipate receiving the formal announcement, after which we can proceed with all of our procurement processes and ultimately move towards demolition, which we still hope to begin before December of 2023. But also keep in mind, we also still have the critical administration building that has to be constructed, and we're going to start that during the month of May as well.
So it's not over. We're actually really beginning. I think one of the things that we're extremely proud of is the fact that we have some of the latest technology in the JFL North facility.
That's correct, Adrienne. Right here in this room, we have a 128-slice CT scanner. What that means is we're able to do our exams in probably about half the time. So that just helps with efficiency, it helps with the quality of the procedure, and gives a better diagnosis for our physicians and for the patient.
And in terms of recruiting, you know, nurses, doctors, what's the overall plan for staffing up this JFL North?
Yeah, well, we're very excited. We actually just renegotiated our nursing contract, so we are now offering a much higher wage for our nurses, which is great to see. But the new environment, the new technology is also attracting. You know, quite honestly, our old environment wasn't the best working conditions. We've already had nurses that had left JFL in the past have called us and are ready to come back to work in a new location.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Exciting to see.
Yes, it's been long overdue, and kudos to everyone who had a hand in getting us to this point. I was told that Mr. Smalls had hair before, now he doesn't. But we are really looking forward to the rebuild of the new Juan F. Hospital, as well as continuing the growth and the coordination between all of our healthcare facilities in the Virgin Islands. So again, kudos to you both. And if you want to keep up and get the latest of what's going on with the recovery, don't forget to tune in the last Thursday of every month to WTJX for Recovery in Focus, where I'll continue to give all of the tidbits about recovery efforts across the Virgin Islands. It has always been a pleasure. Stay tuned, because we will continue to build a legacy of resilience.